Okay, right, look, if you are a long-time watcher of Ups and Downs, you would have seen over the past few weeks my screen just glitching and glabbering, and I have absolutely no idea why. But I used to be a detective in a former life, so I'm going to take my magnifying glass, I'm going to put on my fake moustache and my crap hat, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And somewhat amazingly, I'll probably have figured out by SmackDown when we up those downs for WWE's Friday night show. And if it is who I think it is, I'm gonna break your bones. But we're not gonna worry about that today because we have to worry about AEW Dynamite, the show that happens every Wednesday courtesy of All Elite Wrestling. And we do have blood and guts in a couple of weeks, but now we need to look at this and decide, was it a good show, was it a bad show, or does it get an up or does it get a down? My name's Simon Miller. You are watching WhatCulture Wrestling. Let's up those downs for AEW Dynamite. Hangman Page is great, isn't he? He has basically grabbed Dynamite by the horns, if it had any horns, and decided to use it as a pathway to truly find his pro wrestling character. It's like we're in drama class. We had kind of a cold opening here where he was being interviewed and they were saying, Hangman Page, who is going to be your mystery partner in your tag team match, which is going to go down later. He was going to have a little bit of a conversation with us, but right next to him were Matt and Nick Jackson, so he turned his attention to those two instead. He looked right at Matt and said, well, I wouldn't team with you if you were the last guy alive, and I do have to say, Paige, I think that's a little bit of a lie. Like, if he was actually the last guy on planet Earth and you were like fighting a zombie horde, you'd probably turn to him and go, look, Mr. Jackson, I could really use your help. The point is, he does not like Matt, however, he may consider teaming with Nick. Oh my gosh. Can you smell the tension? Hangman then just walked off and Matt turned to his bro and went, I hope you're not actually thinking about teaming with that prick. And I tell you, I want to get too crazy, but this genuinely felt like a couple of friends falling out. Also, what a nice dangling carrot from the very first minute. Oh, that's right, I just ate the fake carrot, but who will be Hangman Page's tag team partner? We shall find out later. We weren't mucking around this week either because our very first match was Cody taking on Ortiz from the Inner Circle. Up. Aside from the enjoyment of seeing men fight in their pants, we were also just building stories here because about, 2 minutes in, Jake Roberts walked through the crowd and he was with his client. So again, there was no standing on ceremony here, Mr. Wayne. Last week, Jake Roberts said he had someone. 7 days later, here it is, and it was Mr. Lance Archer. And I liked it too because it felt different from other reveals we have seen on All Elite Wrestling. There was no pomp and circumstance. Just Jake Roberts like, yeah, Cody, here he is, you deal with it. We can leave the over-the-top stuff when we do the Dark Order. And the fight was enjoyable too, but I tell you, like I've already said, it was all the narrative threads that kept pushing together here. And of course, Santana was on the outside, and he kept trying to get involved, but it ended when Cody wrapped Ortiz up in the figure four, and he tapped out. The reason I got a massive kick out of that is because I went into Wrestling Nerd World. It's a wonderful place. You should come join me sometime. And I was like, it's probably because Arn Anderson and his coach, and Arn Anderson has spent all that time with Ric Flair, so he's taught him the figure four and how to apply it properly. I love being a geek. Anyway, as soon as Ortiz had tapped, his tag partner was in there with that ridiculous loaded sock, but thankfully, Matt Jackson and Kenny Omega came down to make the save. But then the Inner Circle appeared on the big screen, they built up blood and guts, and also said that the Elite, or at least the Elite members that were standing in the ring, were going to have to do this without Nick Jackson. And why is that? Because they had maybe literally killed him. And I ain't lying either. The camera panned to him and he was underneath one of those steel grates and it had just been rammed onto his face. Now, I know I've already mentioned zombies once in this episode and it's ridiculous to mention it twice, but it was genuinely like something you would have seen in a zombie film. Like a zombie was coming at you and you knock it down with a bat and it falls down going, yeah, and then you get a grate and you smashed its skull. It's actually quite a devastating scene. And we got an update later too saying that Nick Jackson is out indefinitely, and that's like me coming on here and saying all ice cream is delicious. I don't need to tell you, you already know. This was quite an intense angle, and again, go and check it out. Look at Nick Jackson's face. The man is dead. The Inner Circle is crazy. If you're wondering about Mr. Archer too, well, he just sauntered off here after teasing that maybe he would jump the guardrail and go after Cody, but I like that. It's like the dangling carrot again. You'll want to see where it's going to go and take the carrot and turn it into a delicious carrot cake. It was then Bea Priestley and Nyla Rose taking on Chris Statlander and Shida. Now, I like all of these women. I think you'd have to be blind not to see that they have a lot of upside. But where on earth did this match come from? It's like it just popped out of a sock drawer. On top of that, after the bad guys have won, or at least who I presume were the bad guys, Bea Priestley attacked Nyla Rose. So now, I guess that's the program, and that's the direction we're heading in, which is doubly interesting because we haven't seen Bea Priestley on Dynamite in around about 422 years. These matches just too random sometimes. I actually think AEW's going to head in a good direction from this point, but again, the context that it flew into my face, it's got to get it down. The match was fun though. It did start a bit slow, but by the end, they absolutely had the crowd and they were running wild like the hot tamales that they are. And as always, it was the Nyla Rose show. She speared Shida, then she hit her with the Beast Bomb. 1, 2, 3. Really enjoy Nyla as champion. Think she's doing a good job. And I do have more stuff to say about this, but I'll wait to the relevant point in the show to make my own point on my own show. Nice, smart stuff with Christopher Daniels followed. He had gone out there and learned how to video edit, and he'd made a parody video of all the Dark Order stuff. So he was stood there looking like that guy who's been going, hey, you should join the Dark Order, look how nice my hair is. But Christopher Daniels was all like, oh, you suck, you're rubbish, and I want to take on you, Evil Ono, and I want to take you on, Grayson. I'm going to beat both your asses, and when the Exalted One doesn't show, I can prove that you two are nothing but dirty lies. I enjoyed this, it was silly in the right possible way. Unfortunately, Christopher Daniels, I think you are incorrect, and I think you are in for quite the wonderful surprise. MJF, the Butcher and the Blade then defeated the Jurassic Express, and I'm just gonna call this the happy super duper fun times match. This was so enjoyable, this was so entertaining. I'm getting kind of excited because AEW does seem to be putting people into 3 teams, three-way teams, meaning we may get a 6-man tag team title soon, and I would like that too. It is getting it up, or giving the participants a dino up. MJF was wearing his I Pin Cody t-shirt, so we are not done with that feud. And we started off with a little bit of comedy here because MJF turned around into Luchasaurus and was absolutely terrified, as he should have been. He's a dinosaur. Have you seen Jurassic Park? They will eat you when they are sat on the toilet. So when you are sat on the toilet, you're doing a big poo, and all of a sudden you get eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Also, happy birthday to Luchasaurus. He is officially like 35 billion years old. What a good chap he is. Anyway, the Butcher and the Blade used all this to blindside Luchasaurus until we built to the hot tag, or should I say, 2 hot tags. Not only did the big man tag in Jungle Boy, who ran wild, but then he got Marco Stunt involved, who was running even more wild. And I don't think I've ever seen 2 hot tags before. It got me, well, pumped up. Luchasaurus was then diving over the top rope, and Jungle Boy was diving through the second rope, and Marco Stunt was doing DDTs. It was like a really, really good poem. Like, I don't know, roses are red, dinos kick ass, Jungle Boy is good, and Marco real fast. I just said that loud and live on camera, and I massively regret it. Ultimately, it was a couple of dicks that had to go and ruin everything, because not only did Wardlow take out Luchasaurus, but the bunny distracted Jungle Boy, pushed him off the top rope, that allowed MJF to lock in the Salt of the Earth, and he tapped out, meaning that Maxwell and his team got the win. And I do enjoy that MJF has gone back to using that maneuver. The Crossroads was fine, or the double cross, whatever they were calling it, but he needs his own thing. This is his own thing. Darby Allin then, in a video, had a dummy of Sammy Guevara in a body bag, and I think went to dump it in a truck. So all I could take from this is the fact that Darby is going to kill Sammy and put him on a mattress in the back of a van and then take him somewhere. That's what I saw. It was very well produced. It was very well edited. We are not in Toto anymore, Kansas. Okay, I have everything crossed that this may be a coming-of-age moment in AEW, specifically for the women's division. Because we had Britt Baker out here having another interview with Tony Schiavone, and my word, Britt Baker is just great at what she does. Because she not only said to the crowd that she thinks they're all inbred, or at least that's what she insinuated, but if they follow their dreams, they will be able to become janitors, and even better than that, dental assistants. And boy, that last one especially, how I laughed. That's not even a diss, but she said it with such disdain in her voice, I couldn't help but have a little wry smile on my face. Right, so here's the moment I'm talking about, because out came Big Swole to get in Britt Baker's face and basically say to her, all you do is go on, go on, go on. I think somebody should shut you up, and hey, maybe that one person should be me. Baker then responded to her though by saying, look, in terms of wrestling relevance, you're not even the most relevant person in your household because that belongs to your boyfriend, and that was a reference to Cedric Alexander. And then Big Swole went, girl, I'm married, baby, and that was a reference to Britt Baker's boyfriend, who of course is Adam Cole. Now I know some people don't like this inside baseball stuff. The crowd here bought it and they went crazy, which means AEW got it right. But here is the thing. If this now develops into a feud between Big Swole and Britt Baker, we allow that to develop, and we have a feud between Nyla Rose and Bea Priestley, which does the same, then although it's a bit like hitting the reset button, the women's division will feel a lot more structured, like it's got a foundation, and I would enjoy all of these matches. Also, Britt Baker, I have decided to give you the Ups and Downs MVP Award of the Week. I have no idea what that is. I just literally made it up as I waved my hands around like the bald asshole that I am, and now I'm going to change it. I'm going to give you the SVP Award, Simon's Valuable Player. Again, still don't know what that means, but you get it. Keep doing what you're doing. This all ended when Baker threw coffee on Big Swole and just legged it. And also there was a point when Britt was getting a little bit scared of Swole, so she hid behind Tony Schiavone. I flippin' love it. And all of this gets it up. And then it was that time again. I mean, can we get some kind of official noise that when AEW puts on a 6-man tag team match, which is so good, I don't really have the words to back it up. I can just play that noise and then you'll know. I'll do the noise. It'll be like, eh. No, not that noise. That sounds like I'm about to drop down. We'll come up with some kind of official noise. When you hear that official noise, you know that you should go check out a 6-man tag team match in AEW. This is one of those, it's getting it up. But it was Joey Janela and Private Party taking on the Death Triangle, and everything these guys did was just fabulous. I mean, especially Phoenix, Pentagon, and Pac. Those three guys are probably going to go on to become most of the pivotal people in AEW. It's just the athleticism and the agility and the maneuvers they pull out from nowhere. Sometimes I can't even get out of bed, and they probably, like, I don't know, nip out of bed, do a flip, and then jump out the window and land and run a marathon. It just makes no sense. Just go and watch it, and if you're not going to, know that it ended after Phoenix and Pentagon's, like, double stump package pile driver thing. Then Pac hit the Black Arrow onto Joey Janela, but they weren't done. They went and got Private Party and Mr. Janela and locked in a literal death triangle. Like, they all had these crazy submissions. It was like when you get Lego and just push it together. It looked like the most painful thing I've ever seen in my damn life. They were kept in this until the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy made the save, and I'm in for all of this. This is me being in, kind of looks like, I don't know, like I think I'm He-Man or something, but I'm in. Dustin Rhodes then cut a promo and said that he doesn't care what Hangman Page thinks. He's so mad at everything the Inner Circle has done recently, he has decided that he shall be Hangman Page's mystery cowboy partner, and they will go out there and do cowboy shit. Now, if you've never watched AEW before, or you're just watching this video for the first time, it did kind of sound like Dustin Rhodes, obviously out of context, he was going to do some kind of like cowboy excrement, but that is me being very, very immature. This was also very strange by Dustin. Like, he just decided he would be the mystery partner. It's like if somebody saw somebody waiting for like a blind date and they just sat down. They just sat down and they went, are you my blind date? No, but I kind of overheard you were waiting for a blind date, so I thought I'd shoot my shot. Fair play. Okay, right, so in the most surreal thing that's happened to me in 2020, AEW did have a little montage for everybody that has entered the competition to try and become Sean Spears' partner. And one of those videos, I mean, it's only there for about 2 seconds, but I don't care, was yours truly. Now, I just want to say, this absolutely blew my mind. It's not going to get an up, it's not going to get a down. We're going to remove all of that for the time being. And I'm just going to stare down this camera lens and say thank you. You have no idea how much it means to me. You don't know how confused I find all of this, because it is just absolutely off the chain. But none of this would happen if it wasn't for people like you watching me, engaging with me, and supporting Ups and Downs and WhatCulture and everything else I'm involved with. So I'm going to give you a bow. I'm just going to say thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I made a very weird squeal when it happened, because again, we've already talked about this episode. I am a massive nerd, but just thank you. Thank you 1,000 times. You people are absolutely awesome. We also found out the rules for Blood and Guts, so let's run them down. 2 people shall start in the ring. Every 2 minutes, somebody else will join them. There'll be 10 people in the match, and it doesn't officially kick off until said 10 people are in there. There's going to be a couple of cages, and the cages are going to have roofs, and you can only win by pinfall. No, not by pinfall. That's one thing you can't do. You can only win by surrender or submissions. Again, there are no pinfalls. So essentially, it's War Games. But don't say War Games, because we may annoy WWE. So it's blood and guts. But it does sound very good. And we had a Jon Moxley interview follow this. He was at home, I do believe, and it was being conducted by Jim Ross. And he was obviously talking about everything the Inner Circle had done and how he was going to get his revenge and how he has one eye, clearly, on Blood and Guts. But he also specifically referenced Jake Hager, saying nobody had hit him as hard as the MMA star. So I presume that's going to be Jon Moxley's first feud. And I'm kind of intrigued by it, not where I saw us going, but I shall let it play out and then I shall make a judgment. He also confirmed that he will be at Blood and Guts soon and almost hinted that maybe he shall team with the Elite. And the only strange thing here is there was some very, I wouldn't even say odd editing cuts, just different editing cuts. If I'm JR and I go, hey, Jon Moxley, tell me about your life right now. Then from nowhere we just cut to Jon and he was talking. But hey ho, it was what it was. Kind of smart to keep Moxley off the proper show, to build his star power. Oh, are we going to see the champ or are we not? It's fine. Which transitioned into our main event, which was Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara taking on Hangman Page and of course the mystery opponent or the date stealer, Dustin Rhodes. Much like most AEW Dynamite main events, you can just sit down and enjoy yourself with a cup of tea. AEW also used it as a conduit again to just keep building stories. You know anything about me, I love this seed spreading. It gets me pretty excited. And look, let's just go through it nice and simple. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara are such a good tag team because they're such assholes, you can't help it. Hangman Page, probably the most interesting character in all of AEW right now. And Dustin Rhodes has that legend feel and a guy you just want to get behind. So this was just ticking boxes everywhere. Unfortunately for Sammy, his unbalanced streak continued because he wins some and he loses some. But he got hit by a destroyer thanks to Dustin and then got smashed with the Hangman Page buckshot lariat. That was it. One half of your tag team champions and some other guy that had just appeared get the win. Of course, as soon as it was over, the Inner Circle just started pounding on these guys and not even Kenny Omega or Cody Rhodes could stop it. They were out there and they were doing the best. But the numbers game caught up to them as well. You know why? Blood and guts. Here is where it got really interesting though, because Chris Jericho and his goons grabbed Hangman and they were going to do the same thing to him that they did to Jon Moxley last week. So we needed a savior, we needed a hero, and that came in the form of Matt Jackson. He started throwing bombs and he got rid of these guys, but when he came face to face with Adam Page, do you know what he did? He flipped him right off because again, while he will do the good thing, still thinks the cowboy is a piece of shit. I tell you why I loved it so much too, because it's a bit like Star Wars. I know we're entering proper geek nerd territory now, but just deal with it, because it's like Darth Vader. He thinks the Hangman Page still has some good in him, and he's gonna look for it. Although, to be fair, I don't remember Luke Skywalker ever looking at Darth Vader and just flipping him off. Maybe it would have worked. This allowed Jericho to slam Matt Jackson with a chair shot and take out Hangman Page, and I think it was the way the camera was positioned, but the chair shot looked absolutely brutal. And now for the second week in a row, the Inner Circle have done exactly what they said, exactly what they said they were gonna do. They're becoming more dominant than ever, and they're taking out the roster one by one. Pow! It makes Blood and Guts in a couple of weeks even more interesting, and I would say that all of this was just very good booking. Again, it wasn't the best episode of Dynamite you'd ever seen, but it's just so easy to watch. This is me putting it into a little bit of a, I don't even know, it's just me being a robot, I suppose. Anyway, there's the arrow, overall arrow for the show. It gets it up, and I know in the comments, I read them sometimes, Simon never gives it down to AEW Dynamite. I'm not going to give a down just for the sake of balance. Oh, well, we haven't given a down yet, so I must give a down. I watch it and I speak from my gut and I speak from my heart. It's a good show. As simple as that. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's AEW Dynamite. I know, we've done it. I've done it for you. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles, follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE, and watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon Miller from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, well, on Saturday we will do ups and downs for SmackDown, but who the hell knows where SmackDown is going to air from. There's rumors right now because of the coronavirus. It could be moved to the Performance Center. Who knows what's going on with WrestleMania? It is kind of a scary time out there right now, but look, be safe, be healthy, and let's just be nice to each other, because that is the most important thing. I'll see ya.